Today we're going to be doing an update video ranking the top streaming devices currently available in 2025. So we'll be making a tier list and ranking them from S tier being the best all the way down to D tier. This will be done on a number of different factors: price, availability, ease of use, and then of course the ability to customize them, such as side-loading specific apps directly on the device. If you think I got anything wrong on this list, I want you to let me know down below in the comments. I make weekly videos helping people like you save money on streaming services and learning how to optimize their device. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the subscribe button right down below. So here we are on my tier list I made. I have prices included, and we're only using the retail price, not the on sale. I know some of these go on sale often. And I've tried to put some of the top devices from pretty much every single system. You'll see what I mean. Every single brand has multiple of their top devices. I even got some of the really poor quality ones. So let's kick things off with a new one. I like doing the new ones to start, and I want to start off with the Google TV Streamer. Now, the Google TV Streamer is the newest release from Google, basically a replacement for their Chromecast TV in a lot of ways, and it's a lot more expensive. It goes for $99 USD and comes in two separate colors. Now, this was a pretty hype device. It has decent storage to it, and it comes with some pretty competitive specs in a lot of ways. Like, you get 32 gigabytes of storage, but there's some problems. For one, you only have the power USB port, which means you have to, of course, still get an OTG cable. There was a bunch of other issues, but I do like it. It's Google TV. The biggest issue is it's $100. And so I don't think I can put this anywhere higher than a B tier. I think this is honestly a B tier product. It's solid, but it's not the best. So that's where we're gonna leave it. Now, transitioning from that is going to be an interesting one because we're gonna talk about a very popular device, and it's gonna surprise you because it's actually more expensive than the Google TV Streamer, and that's the Fire TV Cube. Yes, this thing goes for a total of $139. That is pushing Nvidia Shield TV territory. It runs Amazon's custom Fire OS and comes with a total of 16 gigabits of storage. So it's got decent storage to it as well. It also has Wi-Fi 6E support, and it's basically a more powerful Fire Stick, right? That's what they aimed to make here. It is more expensive than the Google TV Streamer, but with that being said, the built-in Alexa, the high quality design. I like Amazon's Fire TV system. It's still Android based, so you can still customize it. The price is the only thing that kind of puts you on a back burner. Usually I would say, well, this goes on sale all the time for under $100. It does. But with that being said, I think we're gonna have to put this in the B tier. Too expensive without offering enough of those high quality features that you really want out of one of these style devices. So solid, but I just don't think it's quite there yet. Roku has always been an interesting device for me. They are super affordable, they're simple to use, but they restrict you in a lot of ways. So for instance, we got the Roku Ultra here as our first Roku device. $79.99, but it says on Amazon regular price $9.99, so I might have got that one wrong. This is the 2024 model. It comes with top tier specs in a lot of ways. Now, is this gonna have a ton of RAM or be overly powerful? No, because it doesn't have to. It uses Roku's custom OS, which is super simple to use. This has always been a product I've suggested for older people or people that aren't as tech fluent, right? It's just very simple. If you want to stream and you want to get to your streaming app, then you can get to it. The biggest issue, of course, is the fact you can't really sideload stuff on it. I mean, you can kind of put Kodi on it in some ways, but it's not really the same. Now, the fact that that one is $99.99, so close to $100, that means it's more expensive than the Google TV Streamer. It's more expensive than the Fire TV Cube, but you can technically do less on it, which is something I never like. I always want to be able to do more, at least give you that option. We got to put it right here. $79.99, fair price. Let's move on. Some of you probably haven't heard of this brand, Mecool's KM2. These are basically like a sub-brand of Android boxes. It's like if a company tried to go mainstream, but just didn't hit it as big as Roku or Fire TV. That's where this brand sits. It's like in between the cheap boxes and the more expensive, higher priced models. And that's where things kind of get interesting. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the price is not great. $79.99, I know it says $111, but that's on their website. Everywhere else is $80 US. They're not super powerful, right? They come with a very typically used Android chipset, which is the Amlogic S905X2, and it comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM and only 8 gigabytes of ROM for $80. Now, one thing I really don't like about these is, yes, they are Android TV OS, but they don't work for every streaming app. So they're not certified with every streaming app, so not all of them will work perfectly, but the ones that they are, such as Netflix, Prime Video, work great. The other ones, you just might not get the same experience. So that's always been an interesting dynamic for me. Now, I'll be honest, I never liked these devices. It's like you're not paying for the super cheap Android box, you're paying for a higher priced one, but you're not getting the same premium experience or specs you get out of some of the other devices. And like, it just puts me in a position where I have to, yeah, we got to do that. I don't know what else to do, right? Like, we can't do anything else. It's a D tier. Too expensive, not a good enough specs, all of that just kind of leads into this mediocre device, realistically. All right, I've put a lot of hate on this next device over the years, but I've actually learned to love it and appreciate it in a lot of different ways, and that's the ONN streaming stick. It's a $15 discounted Fire Stick, basically, running Android TV. Official apps work, third-party apps work, and like, you can't go wrong. We're talking about $15. You can't even get McDonald's half the time for $15 anymore. So it is a really solid product. Now, is it the highest quality? No, not at all. Is it the highest specs? Absolutely not. It's full HD, has like 1 gigabyte of RAM. It's okay. But with the price, with the affordability, with the ease of use, all of that, the fact you can still run third-party apps, it's an A tier. It is just a solid, great device that offers a ton of great benefits for such a small, competitive price. Like, that is cheaper than you can even get a Fire Stick when they're on flash sale from Amazon. So really great product there. Okay, the next one I made a video on, and I got a lot of hate for it because I liked the product, but it's from a brand that I think a lot of my subscribers didn't like because it's from China. But it's the Mi 4K stick. So Xiaomi is a major Chinese brand that makes a ton of stuff. They actually make like really good electric cars, if I remember right too. And they made a pretty solid streaming stick as well. It's 4K, it's compact, it's more powerful than a Fire Stick in a lot of ways, and it runs Android TV. So if you don't like Fire TV OS and you don't like Google TV, this is a really good in-between. It only has 2 gigabytes of RAM and it only has 8 gigabytes of ROM. The only downside besides that is the fact that it runs close to $80. So in my mind, it's considered a premium device at that price point, right? $80 is no small change. And that's why I kind of have to stick it in the C tier. It's not quite as powerful as a Google TV streamer or a Fire TV Cube for only $20 less, right? Like, I want something more. So as a streaming stick, I like it if you like that, but how can we put it here when we're talking about a $65 difference? Am I getting $65 more in value from the Mi Stick? I just don't think so. It's a C tier. C tier. Okay. An old nemesis of mine, the MXQ box. This is, now I picked an average price, $29.99. You can get these for like $10 sometimes. This is like the scam special. When people are selling Android boxes and they bulk order them online, this is the box they bulk order, and they'll sell it to you as some great streaming box. They are garbage. They stop working. They are notoriously bad. And some people in the comments are gonna go, I've had one for 20 years now, whatever it is. They're garbage. Never buy this. I would not pay $2 for it. It is that bad of a device. Just for the sake of the MXQ Pro box, I had to put an F tier. There's nowhere else this belongs than in an F tier. That's what it is. It's the worst possible device you could buy. Don't buy it. You're wasting your money. It's a scam. Don't do it. We're going to do a back-to-back here, and we're going to do the Nvidia Shield TV Pro and the Nvidia TV. Both super high quality items. For one, the Nvidia Shield TV is still one of the most popular devices and most powerful despite coming out back in 2019. And that goes for the same for the Nvidia Shield TV Pro. They have really unique features such as AI enhancement, which can make 1080p picture quality look even better on your regular TV, which is pretty cool. Now, I have definitely received a bit of flack with these because I've said, hey, don't buy them. And the only reason I've said don't buy them is because they're going to have a new version come out maybe this year or next year. I don't know. Eventually it is. And I feel like based on their release schedule and when Nvidia does stuff, it's at the end of its life. They need to come out with a new one. So I don't want to see you waste that kind of money on a device that might not be useful. Not that it's not useful, but there might be a better version at the same price. So I always try to keep that in mind, but we can't joke around here. Like, this thing is still extremely powerful. And if I had to rank it, I'd rank it like this. I would go Nvidia Shield TV S tier. You save $50, it's going to be more than powerful enough for most people. And then I would take the regular Nvidia Shield TV Pro and I would put it A tier right behind the ONN stick. It's more expensive, but more powerful, and it is a gaming powerhouse. So if you're somebody that does a ton of retro gaming, that is the device for you to get, is that one. right? It just works so well for that. So next up we have the Fire Sticks, and I decided to pick two of them. I did the Fire Stick HD because it's the cheapest one, and this was the replacement for the Fire Stick Lite, where they rebranded it, charged $5 more, and basically changed nothing. It was actually really dumb, and it kind of annoyed me. But they then also created the Fire Stick Max, which was a good addition because it's like a Fire Stick with 8 extra gigabytes of ROM, meaning you get a lot more storage at 16. So these are two obviously very, very popular devices, right? They're compact, they run Fire TV OS. One is super powerful, very competitive with any other device at that price point on the market. The other one is cheap. Here's my main thoughts on them. The only reason I kind of hate on Fire Sticks lately is for the simple fact that Amazon has made it pretty obvious that it looks like they're going to be switching toward a Vega OS, which would be Linux based and would be a lot less customizable compared to an Android based device. So the Fire Stick Max, because of its power, because of everything else it offers, I find this to be an S tier. And I don't put a lot of S tiers, but I just think it's one of the best devices. And I don't just think it's one of the best. I think it's ahead of the Nvidia, let's do it like this, Nvidia Shield TV, because it's so affordable, yet pretty damn powerful. But then you have the Fire Stick HD. We can't say it's better than the ONN stick. It's over double the price for not a lot of extra benefit, to be honest. And it's sure as hell not better than the Nvidia Shield TV Pro, even when you account for price. I don't even know if I like it more than the Fire TV Cube, but I also like it more than the Mi Stick. So I think I would go like this. I think just at that price point, it's whatever. You know what I mean? It's affordable, it's good, but the ONN sticks just a little better, especially with what you're getting there. So I think that's a pretty fair ranking. Okay, so back on the Roku thing, the device that I say is for basically for old people. Sorry if there's anybody 60 plus watching this video. There's two that are super affordable, yet actually pretty good, right? One of them is the Roku Stick 4K for around $50. You can see here it's going for $42, list price $44.99. So I'm not sure which one I saw that was 50. It might be the 2024 version. Super affordable, very easy to use, simplified, easy. And then you have the Roku Express, even cheaper, although the regular price is $40. It is one of those ones that are always on sale cheaper. A very cheap priced 4K device. That's what it is, right? If you want cheap, you want 4K, this is a really good option. It's the 4K plus, great picture, and especially at its sale price for 24 bucks. That's crazy. Okay, but here's the thing. The Roku Express, I actually do like better than the Fire Stick HD, but I would put it in that B tier. Now, as for the streaming stick, where it's more expensive than the HD, a little bit more than what the HD would be regular price, that's where we got to put this just above the Mi Stick. You can see all these streaming sticks are kind of hovering in this area, unless they got some kind of elite property, just because for their price, they're not offering the value that I want out of them. Now back at those discounted Walmart devices, the ONN devices, we have two more. The 4K box, which goes for $20, which is insane. And then the ONN Pro box. Now let's start with the 4K box. Now this is essentially a box version instead of the stick. The biggest difference is it's 4K, which adds a lot of extra benefits for $19.88, which is basically 20 bucks, right? It also has a little bit more RAM, if I remember right as well. I think the stick has 1 or 1.5. This one does have 2 gigabytes of RAM. So you get a lot of added bonus for that $5. And then you have on top of that, the Pro box, which is that elite $50 box that came out. 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 of storage, Android TV. It has a remote finder. It has a built-in voice assistant, a nice cover, a premium design. I actually really loved that device. So in my mind, the 4K box is gonna go just above the stick, right? I think it's just a little bit better for the value. You get $5 more, but you get a lot of added benefit. And then we can go ahead and stick in the box here. This is an interesting one. Well, this, I think, no, come on. It's going in the S tier. And I think it's going number 1. It's honestly a very hard device to beat. It's powerful, it's cheap, it has all the added bonuses for 50 bucks. I don't know. I don't know a device that's better for the value than the ONN Pro box running Android TV. It's great. So we have about 5 more here, and it's gonna get interesting here, especially near that bottom end. I wanted to throw in at least one more generic Android TV box. So I went with the T95. Now this is a pretty popular one that again is usually sold on the market. They're bought in bulk and they have varying specs. So this is a very general overlay of this, right? They're usually not 4K, they're usually just 1080p, although they say 4K, but it's usually just support 4K. And the specs are usually from 2 gigabytes of RAM all the way up to 4, and they can go up to 64 gigabytes of ROM in time. They usually run a ripped version of Android TV of some sort that doesn't work great in most cases. And it's not quite the MX Pro, but it's gonna be a little bit above. And moving on, we have a super popular one, Apple TV. And I have a bit of mixed thoughts on Apple TV. If you're in the Apple ecosystem and you have an iPad and you have Apple Home and all this, the Apple TV is going to be great, especially with the rumors that they're coming out with one with potentially a camera on the front for FaceTiming on your TV, which is kind of cool actually. I could see that being a major benefit. But obviously the price and the fact that you can't really sideload it apart from a few different options, that plays a big factor into it. You know, this is all the way up to $149 for the Wi-Fi plus Ethernet or the Wi-Fi for just $129. And it is a premium device, and that's why I'm going to put it in here just above the Google TV streamer. I don't think it's quite an 8 because it doesn't add enough functionality, but for $129 B tier above Google TV streamer, I think is the perfect spot. All right, we got 3 devices left and they're pretty generic. One of them is the TiVo 4K. I tested it a long time ago. It goes on sale a lot, but the regular price is $40, so that's what we're gonna stick with. It's almost like a box and a stick if they had a baby. You can see like the HDMI port is kind of sticking out, like the cord. I guess kind of an interesting design, but sucks if you ever damage that part, so kind of a downside there. And it runs a version of Android TV, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was solid. I thought it's a step above generic Android boxes, and that's kind of where you have to put it. Just above the Mecool, right? It's like a little bit better than a Mecool box, which makes a bit of a difference. And that's coming down to our final 2. We have the Mecool KM7 and the Xiaomi TV box. Well, the KM7 is another one of those Mecool boxes that leave a lot to be desired. Low RAM, low storage, high price. This one says regular 105, but the Amazon price is usually about 80 that I have listed, 85. So that's what I went with. Simple design. It's like a little step above an Android box, but more expensive, which obviously sucks. Who wants a more expensive Android box in that case? And that's where I kind of have to put it like below the T95 even. What do I want to pay $85 for this device? What is it giving me that anything above that on the list doesn't give me for $85? That is absolutely crazy. And last we have the Xiaomi TV box. Yes, this is another one of those ones from China. It's a low quality 4K Ultra HD streaming media player. It leaves a lot to be desired at $70. Is it a solid, well-working device? Yes. Is it better than the Mecool T95? Yes. Cheaper, better, in my opinion, and that's why it sits at that E tier. Well, thank you guys so much for checking out this year's top 20 streaming devices of 2025. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I have all these links and more down below. So if you want to purchase any of these, you can check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.